Oh, wow. It's like this place grows every day. Bigger and bigger, and more tomatoes. And oh, I think we got to get some of you staked up. You know what? I think it's been a few weeks since it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I showed this. And this is like changed. Oh my gosh, look at the tomatoes. There's like hundreds of tomatoes in here, and peppers, marigold, pot marigolds, and parsley. And I need to do a video. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. Oh my goodness, I'm going to do an update on my dog kennel, which is growing just tomatoes. Now, of course, you can take anything I'm doing in here and grow your tomatoes anywhere, but this has worked out really well. So let me start off by saying I told you I was going to redo the bottom, and what I was going to do was put tote lids around and just attach them. That would keep anything that's coming straight at it, let's say a rat, a mouse, a squirrel or something, and they may hit the tote lid, and look at it and think, oh, we're going to run because it's so open and we have lots of, birds of prey around here. But we've had a lot of coyotes around lately. It seems like more than usual. And we do have a lot of rabbits around here, and I've seen the rabbits hanging around. So I'm not sure, because I've got one in my bird garden now. They may be going in by underneath because I have nothing blocking the bottom. Let's go inside, and taking refuge when a coyote goes through, because that's one thing a coyote can't do. He can't get in. He doesn't really know he can jump inside. And if he comes by, he's not going to waste his time hanging around if there's a rabbit hiding in between. There hasn't been much damage. Let's go inside. I'm going to bring a stool with me, sit down, and tell you how well this is doing. If I decide to change anything, of course, and go ahead, oh my goodness, it's tight in here, and put something around the bottom, of course I will take you with me. All right, so in here, let's see, this is the black cherry tomato. And right now, let's see, okay, here it is. They're already throwing, look at all this in here. There's a lot of green tomatoes on here, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And I'm telling you, trellising has been a dream. You can't even see it. But when I trellis them, I just tie yarn. Here's the yarn. I'm hoping you can see that. And it's just tied anywhere I want. I just come in here, I tie it to the top, I tie it to the side, I tie it up that way. Because for me, this particular garden is probably only going to be good until winter. It might go into winter as well. If you were growing it, let's say on the East Coast or different areas, your garden probably by mid, let's say, fall, you'll be fizzling it out and taking it out, or just leaving it to redo next year. So I'm not worried about too much, but I will tell you, let me turn around. Let me stand up for a minute and show you. I would not do it like this again. So if you're just starting your tomatoes and you're going to put something like this together, which is a 4x8 dog kennel, 6 foot tall, which has been a dream. Now, am I in any way upset about it? Oh, no. It worked out really good, but look at it, it's a jungle. It's working, and I have to go in here and do a lot of grooming. And when I say grooming, I want a good airflow around everything, but it's too overcrowded for me. I don't need this many tomatoes, and there's going to be a lot. That one is a good tomato. We'll go one by one through them, because see the size? That's a dwarf type. It's a smaller version of a regular tomato plant. It was bred to do that, designed that way, and it's doing really good. Though I don't know if I'll plant them again, and I'll tell you about that when we get to it. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Let me grab my stool, because there's not a lot of room. Sorry if the camera's all over, to move in here, but I'm fine with that. So we've got the black cherries coming all the way up. It's got a lot of foliage, and it's got a lot of flowers, and it's got a lot of fruit. Let me see, can you see down here? This is a giant cluster. I mean, it's massive. There must be 10 or more tomatoes on there. Are any of them ripe? You know what? This one's ripe. Hold on. There's the black cherry. I haven't even tried this. There's more here. Look at all these. This has been great. And as you can see, I covered it in tulle. Something really simple. I'm not trying to get rid of the hornworms. I'm just trying to kind of keep things at bay so not too much gets in. All right, I wasn't planning on this at all. I just wanted to show you an update. Let's see what this looks like. Oh my gosh. I shouldn't do this. I'm gonna squeeze seeds in there. Oh my gosh. Gary's gonna love this. This is sweet like sugar. Now I'm talking with my mouth full. Give me a minute. Oh my goodness, I gotta bring him some. That is really, really good. That's gonna be a keeper. And you know what? I gave him a whole bunch the other day because I actually took cuttings off of it and I propagated this one. And now he's gonna have it. That is a really good sweet tomato. I would definitely grow that every year. Now here's my basil. This is the little tiny basil I put in here. And what you wanna do is take the flowers off only because it will bush out. See, when you pinch off the top, see how you got these two leaves here? This will turn into a big bushy plant. So you'll have two stems coming out and it will get bigger. I should just put it in here. And bigger when you pinch them. But do you have to pinch them? No. If your plant is big enough, you're happy with the size, it will continue to grow. I've never had it die out. But by pinching them off, you're giving the ones that are underneath, these tiny little leaves here, a chance to turn into a big plant. Now there's my pitcher back there. As fast as I fill it, the earthworms must be emptying it because it's really dropping down. Let's close that. And I make sure it gets a little water so I can keep it open. If you were having this outside and you have a rodent problem, close it. They can't get in. But if you're not having any rodent problem, nothing's trying to get in it, go ahead and leave it where it's turned. So when you water your plants, water can get in there because the earthworms are going to need water. So that tomato is great. The basil is giant. Look at this. Now the basil's in a pot and it's in another pot. Why? Because I grew it in a milk food container. And it was doing so well that sometimes we can move our plants and end up losing them. So I have big holes in it. It's gonna sit in here. It's gonna grow in the other pot. From here, it will send its roots in here and it will always have water. So I water that, which is gonna be really wet to the roots. It will go into this pot I've got here, which is gonna be really wet for the roots. And then there'll be earthworms. I'm not even gonna move it because see, there's roots in there and it could be the tomato plant. Because if it needs more soil, it will go into the pot that's there. It doesn't matter if it's going up. As long as there's soil, it will do its thing and it will follow the soil, no matter where the soil is. And here is that, this one's doing really good. This is that curly leaf. I forgot what they call it offhand. Ruffles, I think it is. But anyways, the reason the plastic flower is here, it doesn't really need to be there anymore. If I need it somewhere else, I'll move it. See, it's on a stick. I use plastic flowers everywhere. Because when the plant was really little, it was burning. It was getting burnt by the sun. See how sunny it is? And sometimes your young plants can't take it. So I put this plastic flower there. It protected it because the bottom leaves, I don't know if it's got any more bottom leaves that were burnt, but it wasn't doing good. And so it got shade from the plastic flower. And look how big it is now. It's already got much more growth coming through the top like the other one. This is perfect. And that one's in a pot. And that one will send its roots out, see the pot down there, into the tote. And I can always add in leaves and different matter in there to help this plant grow. Of course, I can feed this tomato plant, which will do really good, in the pitcher. So if it runs out of nutrients, it will go to the pitcher and get the nutrients from there. So you want to keep that full of leaf matter. Let's see, do I have anything? Let's say, here's a pot marigold. If I was grooming in here, I would take all the leaves and I would dump them in the pitcher. I've got all videos on it. You really need to watch the video. And then you want to put a little bit of soil. You can grab it anywhere on top and it will break down because the earthworms, the microbes, if you don't have earthworms, will break it down and it will feed your plant. All right, so, and this black cherry, by the way, is straight in the ground. So in other words, it's in the tote, it doesn't have another pot, and you can see how beautiful it's doing, so it didn't need another pot. Now this one is the sun gold. Let me kind of move over a little bit, and that's back there. Look at that. And oh my goodness, look at that. And it's all full, all the way up, all through here. I've got sun golds growing. This is coming off the black cherry. I could trim this if it's in my way at any time, or just keep staking it up. So that one is in a pot. Now, do you see that? Okay, we don't want weeds. I know that I'm probably blocking. We can just drop the weeds in there. All right. So there's the sun gold, and it has another leader coming up from behind. I didn't get that one off, but that's fine. And that's in a pot. So when I water, this sun gold in there is getting direct water to its roots because it's in a pot. Now, did it need it? I don't know, but it's doing fantastic too. But I do it this way because we're in a warmer area. I want to make sure that the water is getting to the plant, which is important because if I water the tote, it could theoretically go to the side and go out. It happens even when you're in the ground, in your garden. So I put that one in a pot, kind of like an experiment. You can see the tag is back there, and that's the sun gold tag. Doing really, really well. Now let's move over. Now this is a soap container, and this is my peppers. Oh, look at all the peppers coming. Cool. Now the reason this pepper is doing so well is contrary to what somebody, or so many people I should say, tell you. Look, something is munching on this, but this looks more like a caterpillar or a grasshopper could be getting in here. Your sweeter peppers, your bell peppers, a lot of those really don't like a lot of sun. People tell you they need full sunlight. No, it's the opposite. They want sun, but they want a mix of sun and shade, or the fruit or the leaves will burn. This one does need help because something, and it could be snails or slugs getting on there, though I don't see any traces of slugs. My guess is grasshoppers, and we do have them. They're really big. They come in here, they munch for a while, and then they're gone. As you can see, there's nothing here. If it was a hornworm, you would see it. It would be just, the leaf would be really, really bad. I could tool this if I want, simply drape tool over it, because they really don't need to be pollinated. They really self-pollinate from the wind like tomatoes. But I'm gonna leave it right now because I see all the peppers down here coming and more flowers and nubs from peppers. So this is good. But see, this is in a food container. Let me see if I can get you in here. I want you to see this. See this? That's the paper cup. This grew in a paper cup. That's how I started it. I tore out the bottom and pushed it in this container. So this way the plant didn't go in any type of shock at all. And then it just kept growing. And then I put the container that I planted it in here. Soil from around the yard. That's all it was. And then this is just a curly leaf parsley. And that's down here also in its own container. And oh, there is another one back here. I didn't even realize. What in the world is in that one? Oh, that's a walking onion. You know why I put that one in there? Mainly to get extra water and soil in there. Big holes on the bottom. And as far as the walking onion, I don't really care about it. And that does need a lot of sun. Onions like sun. They don't like shade. You'll end up with insect issues and everything. I'm going to have to tie this up afterwards. But I put that in there early on, and I could move it or leave it. Right now, what will happen is if the sun gold needs more soil for any reason, it will go into there and put its roots in there. So it works out good. That will hold water, and gravity will slowly pull it down, and they will have the roots underneath feeding. So I'm going to leave that because it won't make a difference to me. All right, this one I believe, let me see if I can read the tag. Yep, is the volunteer. Now this one's doing wonderful. Look at this. This one grew in my trough in the bird garden. It came up in the spring, and look at all these. Oh my goodness, full. So this one is planted. Let's take a look so you can see and I can see directly in the tote. This is like a mishmash video, isn't it? So it's in the tote. It's doing, as you can see, very, very well. Let's get this out. This is just weeds. Doing really well in there. And this is straight in the tote. And then it's got this one that has a pot marigold. It's a little dry. And by watering the pot marigold, if that's all I watered, it would automatically water the tomato as well. See what I like doing? Oh, and that's a cutting I did back there of a geranium. And then this is a pot marigold, which could be moved. It works out really well. Oh, it's gonna throw a lot of flowers because it's getting shade from the tomato plant. And I think this is why the pepper is doing so well, because it's getting the shade it needs. But see how the sun is on it? It's getting enough sun. So back here, see there's a lot going on. Is a geranium. It's just a cutting. It's a Martha Washington, a purple one, I believe. And I can move this when I want. Even if I pull it and there's roots in there, whether it's the tomato or whether it's the Martha Washington, it'll be fine. This is just another container to compost in and throw my leaves in as I go. Anything I take off for whatever reason, tomato leaves, whatever, can go in there. And you do want to top it with a little bit of dirt. Okay, so we've got that one. Now this is the one I'm waiting to watch. This one is, let me see. This one's also directly inside. This is, okay, this is the this is the volunteer tomato that's growing really good. Now in here, this is a tomato plant that it's kind of a volunteer, but I planted it from a pear tomato. So far, I'm going to double check again. I looked yesterday. I see flowers, but I have not gotten any tomatoes. So let me tell you about those. I haven't done a lot of research on the pear tomatoes. They're kind of a cherry type tomato. They look like a pear. They're yellow, kind of a yellow orange. It's a hit and miss. If you plant the seeds from one of those tomatoes, this is the issue I have found out now. Some of them will produce tomatoes and some of them will only produce leaves. And even the flowers can fall off. It may be a designer tomato, which means it's designed not to reproduce. So you don't save the seeds. And this way you have to go back and buy the pear tomato from the store. And they do a lot of this with a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, even heirloom, because you're buying an heirloom plant, but it doesn't mean you can save the seeds. It doesn't say on there, hey, save the seeds, you can replant it next year. No. If it's designed by, let's say, who is ever selling that plant, they have different ways, whether it's GM, the genetically modified, simply by making it sterile. You don't know, but I have found that some of them do produce fruit. Now see here, that's a good example. See what's happening? This is not producing much fruit. It's literally drying up. So it's not allowing the plant for whatever reason. I may get a few. Let me see here. Nope. That's the volunteer going back, the other one. So this particular plant, not the particular variety, may not produce. I'll give it a little longer, but if it continues to throw those type of flowers where the flowers just fizzle out, and we know that everything is going good in here because we have tomatoes everywhere. If that continues, I'll take the plant out and put something else in here. Now I have found out a secret, and I'll tell you this, how you can get some of these plants to grow, and other people are working this way too. I heard somebody recently is working with radishes. You can plant a whole bunch of tomatoes, let's say seeds, whether it's even out of one fruit, and stress them. Get them all planted. When they start to grow, I put them in paper cups, and this has worked. And the ones that start to stress, they get stressed because they get size to them in a small paper cup. If they start to actually throw flowers and tomatoes, the flowers themselves turn into tomatoes, and you see the little tomatoes grow, that's a good plant. Grab that one and plant it. That means it's kind of bypassed that issue of being sterile. It will not, get fertilized for the plant, the fruit, the tomato to grow. Those are the ones to plant, and that's what I'm working with on the pear tomatoes. I didn't do that with this. I just planted a small one. It looked really nice, and look how giant and big it is. And yet so far, I do not see, let me see, what's this? Nope, this one's coming from here. This one is the volunteer that I know is good, because this must be an old tomato that has been around a long time and has not been messed with. These will be good tomatoes to save for next year, whether it's cuttings or whether it's tomato seeds for next year. But the pear tomato, you do have to work with it. You can work with a lot of different ones, even if they say they've been hybridized. You might be able to get something out of them, but if they've been modified to be sterile, you can get them out. I hope I'm explaining that right. Plant 20 plants, leave them in a small container, do take care of them, and if they start to grow and you start to actually see tomatoes, not flowers, but little tomatoes forming, real tomatoes, then you know it's good to go. When you see them forming little tomatoes. But when you see this or no tomatoes, grab the one that's growing tomatoes. Okay, so in here, what did I tell you what's in here? We have another food container. Oh, this poor pepper is it's in there. It's producing, look at the beautiful foliage. Okay, this will have to be pulled up. I want that pepper to get a little bit more sun, but look how beautiful it looks. Look at all the flowers and look at how green the growth is. So this one does need a little bit more sun. I'll stake this up a little bit. This is the volunteer that is just a crazy tomato plant. That one's in the green tote. That one's from the trough last year in the bird garden. And so anyways, it's just overgrowing on there. And then I have another marigold. Pot marigolds really should come out, but if I stake it, I can leave it. Flowers need sunlight. So see how this one's reaching for the sun? That one's trying to. So I'll move this later and just stake it up out of the way. Now, in the back is the black indigo. I don't know if you remember that, but I was at the nursery. That's this one here. And that plant was like almost dead. And I thought afterwards, oh, what a stupid buy I did. She gave it to me for half price. There were 2 in the pot. I separated them. And this one I put in here is just doing fabulous. I saw tomatoes. Oh, they're down there. There it is. Let me get you in the jungle. All right, let me get you in. There's tomatoes there, right here. And then there's more back there. So it is starting, and there's probably more I can't find. Oh, yep, here's more. They're a black tomato, and they should be on the smaller side, but we'll see. And it is reaching for the sky. We want this on the inside. So this one's doing really good, and that one is in a pot. See the pot? Planted it in the pot, and that one is now sitting inside the tote. And that's a black cobra down there, which absolutely needs more sun. That's a very hot pepper. And then back here, okay, is that another pepper? I'm not sure if that's a pepper or basil. No, it's a pepper, so I'm gonna have to give that one a little more sunlight. And that's back there, another pitcher that I can load into and feed the tomatoes. So let me step back. Here's the thing, tomatoes are heavy feeders. And right now, when you first plant it, you know how I fill my totes up with leaves and matter from all over the garden. All that breaks down into plant food, free, as nature does it all over. And that's what it's feeding on. But the point is, it will suck it all up. It's just as if you sit down, you made a cup of tea and you drank the dickens out of it and your cup is empty. Well, that's pretty much what happens to your soil. But if you have pitchers, you can do the same thing instead of feeding, is fill those pitchers up, those containers, and it will continue to feed your plant. And that's what I'm doing here, and that's why they're gonna hopefully keep growing until the season's over. So that's what you can do, or you can make compost tea, and you can put that in there as well. Now this is the last one. Let me grab my chair and get down here. This is Dancing with Smurfs. This is producing, I've gotten quite a few tomatoes off of here. This one's a really little one. Here. Now, so far, the ones on this plant, see there's more in there? Hopefully you can see it. Right there. The plant is really nice and compact, but the fruit itself is kind of bland. Yep. It tastes like a tomato, but to me, and it could be just this plant, we'll see what happens because Gary's got one. It almost tastes like a tomato you bought at the store that, let's say, wasn't ripe, and then you ripened it on your counter. Oh, it's not bad, but it's got some pluses. I like the size. See how tall it gets? It only gets about 3 to 4 foot tall, and then it stops and it fills out from the bottom. I mean, it's happy. It's in a pot. Oh, look. It's already growing baby tomatoes because one of them got eaten by something and I left it there, so now it's growing right there. So would I plant it again? I don't know. I'm not sure. But if you wanted something compact just to have tomatoes for a salad or something, it's a good plant. So I don't know if I'd buy it again. Maybe I would because of the size. And maybe I would in here. I'll step out and explain to you why. And that would be it, the size. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Full of peppers, little tiny peppers all through here. It's in my pumpkin from Halloween. That's what you go trick-or-treating with. Beautiful. There's another one back there, another pepper. I can't even see it. Look how beautiful the peppers are. And they're growing little peppers everywhere. These were tiny plants I put in here. Again, they're being shaded by the tomato. Let's step out. Let me grab the, oh, This is nothing. This is the fly catchers. Isn't that cool? Oh, you need water. And I set these up to grow lettuce in. It's been working really good. Though I have other ways to grow lettuce that makes things easier. Oh, let's get out of here. And let me explain to you a little bit more. Okay. Now, what would I do different? I have 6 totes in there. I don't think I'd put 6 tomatoes again because it's a jungle. If you're happy with the jungle, go for it. I think I would put some other things in between, maybe a full-size tomato with a smaller tomato and some peppers or eggplant or something else, and then continue on. I think I would go more with no more than 4 tomato plants because it's really, like I said, it's a jungle. But all in all, it's good. So I'm not going to worry if a tomato disappears by something getting in there, whether it's a grasshopper or whatever. I'm going to have a whole lot of fruit. But I'm very pleased with it. Look how beautiful. Sometimes you can worry about things being shaded out, but some plants like your sweet peppers, these are small baby bells, they love the shade. They welcome it. Especially we're going in the summer now. We are in the summer. We're going to get hotter and hotter, and they love that shade. Contrary to what a lot of people think, peppers actually want it warm, but they don't necessarily want the sun beating on them all day, especially when it gets into the 90s. So keep that in mind. Big pepper growers have said that sometimes it's best to get them in the shade, especially when you're in hot, dry areas. So a shade-covered plant, plants that are covering your peppers, like tomatoes or other things, can work perfect. If you don't have issues and you're growing yours in full sun and they're happy, your variety will be fine then. But if you're having issue with peppers and you think that it kind of looks skimpy or the flowers are falling off, try putting them underneath something else like tomatoes. And this way they get sun, but they're getting sunshade. So that's the update on here. If I decide to go ahead and redo any of this, I'm not putting wire on this here. This little bit of tool all the way to the bottom, you can go back and see that from a couple weeks ago, has worked great. It's done what I wanted. It's kept the squirrels from crawling up. They don't want to crawl up. Nobody's really bothered going underneath. I don't know why, just once. Grasshoppers will get in. I'm fine with that. But if I was trying to keep out something really big, I could cover the whole thing with 1/4-inch wire like we did the other dog kennel that's over there. But for now, I'm going to leave this just the way it is, and we'll see what I do with it in the winter. But for now, it is doing fantastic. If you have any questions, please ask. If I can answer them, I will. I don't have all the answers, but I experiment with so many different things and I understand nature so much that maybe I can just spark an idea or a thought for you. And then tell me, how are your peppers growing? How are your tomatoes growing? Are you happy or are you just starting them now? Because I know everybody's in different areas starting different things. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm really excited about this. We're going to get a lot of tomatoes. And I think that's it for now. So I'm waiting and anxiously want to see your comments on what you think about my tomato garden. Did I do good? Did I mess up? Did I put too many? Or what do you think? But look, they just keep going up. And I'll drape them over the top for the ones that get too tall. We'll see what they look like in a couple weeks. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Oh my goodness, this is great. I love it. I'm going to go get those tomatoes staked up so that pepper can get a little bit more sun, especially the one that's completely underneath. Even though it's doing good, I think it can use a little more sun. Bye-bye. What a gorgeous day. All right, I don't think I need any yarn. I think I'll just put a couple tomato stakes and redirect you. You can go up, just direct it by the leaves. Perfect. And where's this one? Poor pepper, you should have a little bit more sun. And that, yep, that'll do. I'll put this here. Let's see, in the tote itself, look at that. Now you've got sun. Oh yeah, you've got a lot of sun now. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Job done for today.